Good morning, dear children. Hope you are keeping fine. Welcome you again to our physics class. Today, let us start with the refraction of light by spherical lenses. Children, hope you have studied about lenses in your lower classes. Children, we have all seen a palmist using a lens called magnifying glass for seeing the details of the lines of a person's palm. A watchmaker using a lens to see the extremely small parts of a watch clearly. In fact, lenses play a very important role in our everyday life. Lenses are used in making spectacles, cameras, microscopes, telescopes, film projectors, and many other optical instruments. Children, we have already studied and we know the working of a mirror is based on the reflection of light rays from its surface. The working of a lens is based on the refraction of light rays from when they pass through it. Children, we know what is refraction. So now let us study the formation of image by lenses in detail. But before going into that, we should know the various types of spherical lenses and all the terms related to lenses. So let us start. Types of lenses. Children, which are the two types of lenses? Yeah, convex lens and concave lens. So what is a lens? A transparent material bound by two surfaces, of which one or both surfaces are spherical, forms a lens. This means that a lens is bound by at least one spherical surface. So in such lenses, the other surface would be plane. You can see here a plano-convex lens, then plano-concave lens. One of the surfaces is plane. But we will be in this chapter studying about double convex and double concave lens. So you can see in the figure how a convex and a concave lens looks like. You have seen it in the lab also. So children, what is the main difference between a convex lens and a concave lens? Convex lens, when you touch its surface, you can see that it's thicker at the center in the middle part, whereas it is thinner at the edges. Whereas a concave lens is thin in the middle but thicker at the edges. And what else? Convex lenses have the ability to converge the light rays. So the parallel light rays, when they fall on a convex lens, they are converged to a point after refraction. So that is why convex lenses are called as converging lenses. Whereas a concave lens diverges the light rays that falls on it and hence called as diverging lens. So children, what is a lens? A lens is a piece of transparent glass bound by two spherical surfaces. So each of these surfaces forms a part of a sphere. The centers of these spheres are called centers of curvature of the lens. The center of curvature of a lens is usually represented by the letter capital C or 2F. Since there are two centers of curvature, we may represent them as C1 and C2 or 2F1, 2F2. An imaginary straight line passing through the two centers of curvature of a lens and perpendicular at both the faces of the lens is called as its principal axis. The central point of a lens is called optical center, represented by the letter capital O. Children, a lens has two principal foci. You can see here F1 and F2. So F2 is the principal focus for the light rays coming from the left side. If the incident light rays fall on the convex lens from the right hand side, they will converge to a point F1 on the left side of the lens. So for a convex lens, it has a real focus. So F1 and F2 are real focus in the case of a convex lens, but for concave lens, F1 and F2 are virtual. Why? Because in the case of convex lens, the actual intersection of light rays happen after refraction. So we'll go to it in the coming slides. Also children, you know that the distance from the principal focus to the optic center, that is the midpoint of the lens, is known as the focal length. So F1 to O and F2 to O is focal length. The distance from the centers of curvature to the midpoint of a lens is the radius of curvature. And also children, the effective diameter of the circular outline of a spherical lens is called as its aperture. So these are the main terms that are related to lenses. So let us define. The centers of sphere which form the part of the lens are called center of curvature. A lens has two centers of curvature, C1 to F1 and C2 or 2F2. An imaginary straight line passing through the two centers of curvature of a lens is called its principal axis. The central point of a lens is called optical center, noted by the letter capital O. A lens has two principal foci, each at equal distance from the optic center, represented by F1 and F2. The focal length small f of a lens is the distance of the principal focus from the optic center. Children, now try to do an activity with the help of a convex lens. Hold a convex lens in your hand and direct it towards the sun. Focus the light from the sun onto a sheet of paper. Obtain a sharp bright image of the sun. Hold the paper and the lens, as you can see, in the same position for a while and you keep observing. We can see, children, that the paper begins to burn, producing smoke. Why is it so? Because the light from the sun constitutes parallel rays of light, and these rays are converged by the lens at a sharp, bright spot formed on the paper, and due to the intense heat or the concentration of sunlight at a point, the paper starts to burn. So, children, that point where the image is formed is the principal focus. So let us define the principal focus of a convex lens. It is a point on its principal axis to which all the light rays parallel to the principal axis converge after passing through the lens. Now, what is the principal focus of a concave lens? It is a point on its principal axis from which the light rays originally parallel to the principal axis appear to diverge after passing through the lens. So as we said, concave lens has a virtual focus, whereas convex lens has a real focus. Rules for obtaining images formed by convex lenses. So which are the main three rules? Rule 1. A ray of light from the object parallel to the principal axis after refraction from a convex lens passes through the principal focus on the other side of the lens. Rule 2. A ray of light passing through the principal focus after refraction from a convex lens will emerge parallel to the principal axis. Rule 3. A ray passing through the optical center of a lens will emerge without any deviation. Children, we have drawn a convex lens. So for drawing this convex lens, you can use a compass, or you can take a particular measure in your scale and take the optics axis first, and using your protractor you can these two sides you can keep it like this, and finally you can draw a convex lens and then measure the length that of the optic axis that you have taken, and exactly at the midpoint you can note your optic center, that is O, and on the either sides of the optic center you have to show your foci F1 and F2 and centers of curvature. They should be equidistant to one another. So first rule, a ray of light that enters parallel to the principal axis, this is our principal axis, a ray of light that enters parallel to the principal axis to a convex lens after refraction will move through the principal focus. This is our principal focus. So it will move through the principal focus after refraction. This is our rule 1. Now rule 2. Rule 2, again we have a convex lens. So according to rule 2, a ray of light that enters through the principal focus. This is our principal focus. So a ray of light that enters through the principal focus will emerge parallel to the principal axis after refraction. And rule 3, children, rule 3, a ray of light, this is our optic center. In rule 3, a ray of light that is directed towards the optic center will go straight without any deviation. So when you draw the light ray, you should show 2 arrow marks. So these are the main 3 rules. So which are the rules? Rule 1, a light ray that moves parallel to the principal axis after refraction passes through the principal focus on the other side of the lens. Rule 2, a light ray that enters through the principal focus. This is optic center. A light ray that enters through the principal focus will emerge parallel to the principal axis after refraction. And rule 3, a light ray that is directed towards the optic center of a convex lens will go straight or will pass out without any deviation. Children, let us start with the image formation in convex lenses. Hope you understood all the 3 rules while we draw the ray diagrams for convex lenses. So today we'll be discussing about 3 main positions. That is, first, when we keep the object between F1 and O, object at F1, and the third, position of the object between F1 and C1 or to F1. Position of the object between F1 and O. So this is our first ray diagram. So let us keep an object between F1 and O. So children, this be our object. So you can see this is our optic center, the midpoint, that is the center of the lens, 2 foci F1 and F2 on the other side, and 2 centers of curvature. So from the object, a light ray comes parallel to principal axis. Let that light ray be AD. And after refraction, according to the rule, it passes through the principal focus on the other side of the lens. So this is our refracted ray. So let this be dx. The second light ray moves through the center of curvature. The second light ray passes through the optic axis. And you know, according to the rule, if a light ray passes through optic center, it goes straight. So we have to show 2 arrow marks. Let this be AY. So here we see that both the light rays don't meet. So we have to produce them backwards. So children, when we produce them backwards, we see that they meet at this particular point. They appear to meet at this particular point, and let us form the complete image by making them meet to the principal axis. So this is our image A dash, B dash. So when we kept the object between F1 and O, we got an image on the same side of the lens behind the object. And how is the image? The image is enlarged, and also the image is virtual and erect. Why children? Because the light rays have not undergone, they have not met after refraction. We have just produced the ray backwards and we formed an image. So this is a virtual and erect image. So whenever you draw the ray diagram for lenses, you have to make sure that your distances, that is the distance from C1 to F1 and F1 to O to F2 and F2 to F1 are equidistant. So let us again just come through position of the object between F1 and O, position of the image on the same side of the lens as the object, size of the image enlarged, nature of the image virtual and erect. Now let us go to the second ray diagram. The second ray diagram, that is the object, position of the object at focus, that is at F1. So let us keep the object at F1. So the first light, this is our object AB. The first light ray moves parallel to the principal axis. Let this be AD, and after refraction it will come out through the principal focus on the other side of the lens. Let this refracted ray be dx. The second light ray, it will pass through the the optic center. The optic center, and it will go straight according to the rule. So let us just show. Here is our ray. So we see that children that, so whenever we show a light ray moving through the optic center, we have to show 2 arrow marks. So this be AY. So these are the 2 refracted rays, and we see that these 2 rays, they don't meet and they are parallel to each other, but they meet at a far off distance. So we say that an image is formed at infinity. So as we studied in the that means in mirrors. So position of the object, when we keep the object at F1, a image is formed at a very far off distance, or we can say that the image or the position of the image is at infinity. Nature of the image. So we get a highly enlarged image at a very far off distance. So the nature of the image is highly enlarged, and size of the image is real and inverted. So in the first ray diagram, we got an image on the left side, that is on the same side of the lens behind the object. So that image, such an image will be virtual in the case of a lens. Whereas in the second ray diagram, the image is formed on the right side at a very far off distance. So that image is real and inverted. Third ray diagram, position of the object between f1 and 2f1. So let us keep the object between f1 and 2f1. This is our object AB. The light ray which comes parallel to the principal axis after refraction will pass through the principal focus on the other side of the lens. So this is our refracted ray dy. Now the light ray that passes through the optic center goes straight. So these light rays, these are the directions through the light ray. Then here we can see the light ray meet. So here we get a image, and this image is inverted, children. So when we kept the object between f1 and 2f1, we got an inverted, that is real image beyond 2f2 or beyond C2, and it's an enlarged image. It's formed beyond C2 and it is real and inverted. Check it. So position of the image beyond C2 or beyond 2f2, nature of the image enlarged, size of the image real and inverted. Ray diagrams to be drawn in the notebook. First, refraction by spherical lenses. All the terms related to spherical lenses in the fourth and the fifth slide along with that diagram should be drawn in the notebook. Second, define principal focus of a convex lens and a concave lens with the help of ray diagram. It's there in the sixth slide. You have to define the principal focus and also show the ray diagram. Third, rules for obtaining images formed by convex lenses. So all the three rules have to be drawn and the statement has to be written. Last, image formation by convex lens for different positions of the object, that is position of the object between f1 and O. Second, object at focus f1, then object between f1 and 2f1. So after drawing the ray diagrams, below the ray diagrams you have to write the position of the image, size of the image and nature of the image. So hope children you will do it. Please go through the previous modules, revise. Thank you and stay safe.